A former WWE World Champion is set to make his return, and this AEW star has called out a wrestler for running to Dave Meltzer. But first, we have news on some scrapped plans from the debut episode of AEW Collision. Earlier this week, a report would emerge from Fightful Select that revealed the original plan for this weekend's Forbidden Door pay-per-view would have seen AEW's CM Punk take on NJPW's Kenta in the Battle of the Go to Sleep, a dream match fans have been anticipating for more than a decade. Fightful would note that Punk was open to the match before Kenta expressed to New Japan and All Elite Wrestling that he isn't willing to do it. This after several tweets over the past couple of weeks demanding a big payday to make it happen. Well, we now have more on the situation and how the encounter would have been set up, as according to Ibu of Wrestle Purist, Kenta was set to appear at the end of the debut episode of AEW Collision, plans that changed last minute, and he would tweet, Kenta pulled out last second, was supposed to attack Punk after the main event of Collision Episode 1, has heat with Rocky Romero and NJPW, was asked to stop mentioning CM Punk. Why do you think the main event was so long? The closing angle was binned at the 9th hour. This news likely flattens any hope that the match will ever take place, and Kenta's last-minute decision appears to have caused issues between himself and New Japan Pro-Wrestling. And before we continue, do you want to get your hands on this weekend's Forbidden Door pay-per-view for just $19.99? Well, if you use the combination of our NordVPN and Fight affiliate links, you can do just that. First, NordVPN allows you to change the location of your device in order to access websites and services that you wouldn't be able to use in your country, and in this instance a whole bunch of countries worldwide can access Forbidden Door on Fight for the aforementioned $19.99, such as here in the United Kingdom, although I would recommend using Lithuania, which appears to work better in my testing. Once you're connected, head over to our Fight affiliate link where you can see the pay-per-view for just that price. You'll also have access to the AEW Plus streaming service, which costs just $6.99 a month and contains every episode of All Elite Wrestling Television on demand in one place. There is also a 7-day free trial if you just want to test it out. You can also watch Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage live and ad-free. So be sure to head over to our NordVPN and Fight affiliate links in the description below, the perfect tag team for any wrestling fan. And next up, an AEW talent has confirmed their departure from the company. Last night, Fuego del Sol would take to social media to share the news that his AEW contract is set to expire, with him confirming that he will become a free agent on July 1st. The luchador would thank the AEW roster and those backstage, as well as the fans, for their support and said, "Hello world, as of July 1st, my time with All Elite Wrestling will come to an end and I will officially become a free agent. However, I am proud to say that I've been cleared to return to the ring from injury and I am now accepting bookings any and everywhere. I will always look back fondly and cherish the night I got signed and how genuine that moment was. But even though this chapter is coming to a close, this is just the beginning for Fuego del Sol. At 27 years old, I'm just getting started. I've barely scratched the surface of showing the world just how damn good Fuego del Sol is." Fuego would sign for All Elite Wrestling as part of an on-screen storyline where he looked to earn an AEW contract, something that was offered during the debut episode of AEW Rampage in summer 2021. He would then become a regular on both AEW Dark and Dark Elevation, a show that has since been cancelled following the introduction of Collision. And next, an upcoming Marvel movie featuring 2 top wrestling stars has been scrapped. The Hollywood Reporter would post an article this week revealing that part-time WWE superstar and global music sensation Bad Bunny was recently in line to play the lead role in a film titled El Muerto, which was scheduled for release in January 2024. According to the report, the movie would have been set in the world of Lucha Libre, and it notes, Muerto was to have been the first live-action Marvel project to star a Latino character. El Muerto is an anti-hero and the son of a luchador or Mexican wrestler. The project had not even started shooting, so making that date would have been either a race or a non-starter. Sources say the project fell victim to the ongoing writer's strike, the script needed additional work as of mid-spring, but services could not be rendered in time. The report would add that the studio was circling Mercedes Varnado, known as Sasha Banks and Mercedes Moné in wrestling, who would have joined the wrestling rapper in the movie, although the writer's strike has unfortunately brought an end to the project. This wouldn't have been the first time that Marvel have dabbled in the wrestling market, as they have recently been working alongside Lucha Libre AAA in Mexico to bring their on-screen characters to life as luchadors, with them clearly seeing money in the lucha world. And next, a former WWE champion looks set to return to the company. Ever since he failed in his quest to win the WWE Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania earlier this year, Drew McIntyre hasn't been seen on WWE television, with him taking time off due to various injuries. On top of this, McIntyre's WWE contract is expected to expire in early 2024, leading to questions on what his future could hold, with it being revealed that the two sides were far apart on negotiations as well as on creative plans. According to a fresh report from PW Insider, things are taking a step closer to being resolved, as they would reveal that McIntyre is now expected to be back in the mix, ready for this year's UK tour and Money in the Bank pay-per-view in London, England, a tour that will begin on May 28th with a show in Liverpool. We're now await to find out when the actual return will take place, as the clock ticks down to the big show in England's capital on July 1st. Next up, a top AEW star has responded to a recent Dave Meltzer report. In this week's Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer would reveal an interaction with a quote top name in AEW who is unhappy with the recent return of CM Punk. Dave would claim that this talent described their unhappiness following Punk's return to AEW Dynamite this past Wednesday, which shortly followed his return to the company altogether on the debut episode of Collision, and the report notes, one top name noted to us that they went home after the show on Wednesday in a bad mood, and even with the key people kept apart and not on the same shows, described the fear of this being a ticking time bomb that will not have a happy ending. Of course, this in reference to CM Punk and the Elite, with the latter being kept off of the show. With that said, FTR's Dax Harwood has now stepped in and revealed his thoughts on recent reports of a bad atmosphere backstage, and said that this isn't something that he picked up on, and would tweet, I can't thank everyone in AEW enough for how well they treated Finley, his daughter, this week at Dynamite. You all made her feel so special. If there is a divisiveness that a certain individual is reporting, I didn't see it at all. Check the Collision locker room too. This is a family. Dax's tweet backs up a recent claim from Andrade Elidolo that the locker room at Collision was amazing, with PW Insider recently reporting that the mood backstage was positive. Harwood would then take direct aim at the aforementioned Wrestling Observer report of a top name leaving the show in a bad mood and wrote, this one will get some heat, but fuck it needs to be said. Whatever top star left the show in a bad mood because a certain individual was there, instead of running to Dave, why not just talk to the individual face to face? That's how we used to do things back in the day. Whilst a confrontation may not be the best course of action to resolve the issue based on how that turned out last time, perhaps telling stories to Dave Meltzer for him to write in his newsletter isn't much of a solution either. And before you go, make sure you check out my predictions for Forbidden Door 2023.